I will recap for 5 minutes our earlier module so that there'll be an overlap. There is a night overlap on the new module. For those who have attended my session earlier, all of you, can I take your permission to recap for 5 to 10 minutes the earlier module? Type PG, permission granted, in the chat box. Please grant me permission so that there is a nice overlap between last, because you should not feel that I'm talking the same subject again, because we are not hurry to finish a syllabus. Okay, we are not hurry to finish a syllabus. Okay, thank you very much. Data-driven processes and decisions is what we were talking, and we were talking about data making without Six Sigma. We have covered defining Six Sigma. We have spoken about common Six Sigma principles, some common Six Sigma principles. And in common Six Sigma principles, we said, please listen to me carefully, organizations can impact their Six Sigma level. We have spoken in depth about Six Sigma level by integrating core principles of Sigma into 3 things: leadership styles, process management, and improvement endeavors. So it's very important. The leadership is important and process is important. If you want to take notes, all of you type LP in the chat box, because leadership and process management both are important. Great, thank you. In the principle, customer-focused improvements, okay, all of you type CFI in the chat box. Customer-focused improvement. This is one of the core principles of Six Sigma. I will explain to you quickly about what we spoke in the last session about customer-focused improvements. Focus on the customer. That's one of the principal methodology in Six Sigma. Now, how do you focus on the customer? Measurements, statistics, and process improvement. All of you type MSP in the chat box. Just see, I asked you to type because I want you to be active, okay? And I wanted you to, when so many people type, see, after you leave this session, you might be busy in some other things, okay? So I keep asking you to type in the chat box so that I also know that you are all alert. So measurements is very important, because without measurement, there is no improvement. Without measurement, there is no improvement. And then statistics is for analysis. And then using those analysis, you improve the process. That is measurement, statistics, and process improvement. Now, this is going to be interesting. Now, if you see here, a detailed understanding of the customer and customer desires. How does it help us? Understanding, we said focus on the customer. How does the focusing on the customer help us? See, first of all, we can customize the product offering and services to the organizations. But that is not all. We can offer additional features to the customers. We can prioritize our product development. We can develop new ideas based on their feedback. We can understand the changing trends in the market based on the customer understanding. We can identify the areas of concern of the customer. We have a lot of challenges in the work. So we can prioritize the work based on what customer is saying, and we can test the solutions before investing time and money in them. Okay, this we have covered in the last session. I'm just quickly brushing through this. Now, a question answer session. How many of you are ready for Q&A? Just type ready in the chat box. Because in this particular modules, okay, in earlier set of Lean Six Sigma modules, I didn't impregnate the question answer. But this time, I said, even if it goes more than 50, 60 sessions, I will impregnate the question answer session so that when you are in my session, at least you go with some takeaway. So the question is this: what are some of the advantages that come from having detailed understanding? Because we said focusing on the customer. What are the advantages we have from detailed understanding of the customer and their desires? Now, is it to simplify product offering and reducing customer? Yes or no? Is it to simplify the product and reduce customers? Okay. Is it to neglect the customer feedback and ideas? Is that the advantage? No. Okay. Is it to prioritize product development based on historical data? Or is it to offer features, develop new ideas, understand market trends, and prioritize work based on customer perception? So the answer is yes, offer additional. So thumbs up to all the people who have said D. So this is a thumbs up. So I have this firecrackers going behind me for those people. Okay, good. Then we spoke about value streams. Okay. And value stream is nothing but sequence of all the items even. I told value stream in 3 simple steps. How many of you remember that? Just put it in the chat box. If you remember, otherwise I'll quickly share. Value stream has got 3 broad details. How many of you remember? Put it in the chat box if you remember. If you have taken notes, how many of you have taken notes, by the way, last time? Yes. I saw somebody information flow, process flow, information flow, and timeline. Fantastic. Okay. IF, PF, and TL. All of you type IF, PF, and TL. Okay, great. I'll explain to you quickly. Okay. I'm not going to recall that because I've explained in detail last time. For example, this is the hot dog. Okay. This is a hot dog. And if you want to, the value stream for the hot dog, you need information flows, you need process flows, and you need the timelines also. So you have a supplier, hot dog supplier, bun supplier, ketchup supplier, hot dogs, buns, ketchups, cooking procedure. This is a method, a pot, tongs, someone to do the cooking, a plate, someone to put the hot dog into the bun, someone to put the ketchup on the hot dog, someone to put a completed hot dog on the plate, and someone to serve the hot dog. So someone. So 4 people are there. Okay. 4 people are there. One to put the hot dog in the bun, ketchup on the hot dog, completed hot dog on the plate, and then serve the customer. Okay. If this is clear, type SC, super clear, in the chat box. See, as I told you last time, this value stream mapping itself is a 8-hour subject. Okay. I take it in 8 sessions, but I'm going to complete that in 8 minutes now. But then at later stage, I will explain in detail. Okay. Now, if you see here, there is information flow that we have mapped. And there is a process flow also. What is the process? Take the order, first one. Then in order comes in. There is an inventory of this order. Then get the order, process the order, put it in the bun. Then if there is another order, process it. Otherwise, out the order is okay, add beverage, deliver to the customer, etc., etc. So this is a quick overview of how this value stream done for this. Okay. Overview is, if you combine all of the above processes into pictorial representation of exactly how these elements become served to the hot dog, you have a value stream. Okay. All of you type VSM in the chat box, value stream map in the chat box. You just have to remember that in order to understand, focus on the customer, you should do a value stream mapping so that you can service the customer using this tool called value stream mapping. Okay. Okay. Like I told you, this is a customer. This is a supplier here. You have the process flow here. You have the timeline here, and you have. I'll explain all that in a different topic. But as of now, the understanding that you should have is, because this is the beginning of the Lean Six Sigma journey, all you have to understand is there is a tool called value stream map, and the value stream map has 3 components: the information flows, the process flows or the material flows, and the timelines, and which is put together in a certain fashion so that we can identify areas of improvement to service the customer, to add value to the customer. So in the above process, you find someone doing this, someone doing that, someone doing this. There are 4 people putting the hot dog together and serving it. So we can also think of one person doing all the 4 tasks. Okay. How many of you agree? There are 4 different people can do 4 different operations, or one person can do, which is better? Which is better? Let me ask these people here. Which is better? One person doing 4 activities or 4 people doing the 4? Which will be faster? See here. From the chat box, it's very clear that people have different views. Okay, people have different views. So that's why we need to do a value stream mapping to really study. Okay, to do a study. I just demonstrated to you that the views differ. So we really need to go into the details. For example, is a supplier a single grocery stores? Are you shopping the items from various stores? Why are we doing it? Did you get savings benefit of added time spent with working with multiple suppliers? So all the questions we need to ask. And these are all some examples of questions that can reveal answer during the value stream map. So we have not gone to the depth of the value stream mapping, but I've just introduced the overview of value stream mapping so that you know that there is a tool called value stream mapping, which will focus on the customer and do the improvement projects. So far, if it is interesting, valuable, useful, awesome, please put it in the chat box. I'll draw inspiration and then we'll dive a little deeper in that. Okay, most interesting. And thank you very, very much, because your comments here actually gives me that extra energy to go on further and further, right? Thank you very much. So for those who stay till the end of the session, I will share the learning content so that when you come inside, you can even go through, study that and come here. Whatever that I'm teaching you will be there in that learning content. Okay, question and answer. How many of you are ready for question and answer? Type ready in the chat box if you're ready for question and answer. Ready? Right. Question. What is value stream map? A type of financial report used in accounting. The second one is a graphical representation of the flow of material and information in a process. The third one is a map showing geographical location of customer, company, suppliers. And fourth one is a marketing strategy used to promote a product. What is your answer? Wow. Fantastic. Okay, the correct answer is a graphical. Answer is B. You're right. Most of the people. Okay, thank you very much. That's exciting. Continuous process improvement. How do we continuously improve the process? Let us dive deep. The inherent in Six Sigma is what is called as continuous process improvement. Okay, let me get a little deeper in this. An organization that completely adopts Six Sigma methodologies never stops improving. You have to continuously improve. So it constantly identifies and prioritizes whatever area that needs to be improved. And once that area is improved, you constantly look at other areas to improve and keep on leveling up your Sigma level. If you are in 2 Sigma, try for 3, 4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 5, and move on up and up. Okay. So the goal is to move closer to the perfect level. What is the perfect level in Six Sigma terminology is 99.99966, 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Okay. All of you type 3.4 DPMO. I have taught DPMO in a couple of sessions earlier. How many of you attended that session? Good. I shared a lot of examples. I shared the DPMO table and all that. Okay. Great, Rachana. Fantastic. Professor. Okay. Superb. So the goal of Six Sigma is to move closer to this perfect level while maintaining other goal requirements such as financial stability as quick as possible. Okay. Now, are you ready for the question and answer? Type ready in the chat box. This is a simple question. I'm going to go a little faster, but very important question. And this is a compulsory question that will be asked in all the Six Sigma. What is the ultimate goal of continuous process improvement in Six Sigma? Answer A, to stop all improvement activities. Okay. To maintain the current process state. To move ever closer to 99.99966 accuracy for all processes. To prioritize financial stability over process improvements. And the correct answer is, put it in the chat box. Fantastic. So for those who typed the correct answer, C, are you ready with chocolates? Send a lot of chocolates to those people who answered C. Chocolates, please. A lot of chocolates, a lot of sugar candies, please. Lovely candies there. Thank you very much for your active participation. All right. Now variation. Can you all type M-U-R-A in the chat box? Variation in Mura. And you can type the equivalent words. Type instability. You can write in your notebooks. Instability, unevenness, imbalance, inconsistency, yo-yo, up, down. All the parallel things you can type, because I wanted you to understand this important word called variation. Superb. Now, one of the ways to continuously improve the process is to reduce the variation in the process. Now, when you reduce variation, you bring in stability. You make unstable process into a stable process. How many of you agree? For example, if your sugar level is varying from 200 to 400, you are highly unstable. Okay. So you at least bring it to 200 plus or minus 20. Bring it to stability. Stability does not mean capability. How many of you agree? For example, my BP is stable around 200. My sugar level is stable around 200. Does not mean you are capable. But then it is important in Six Sigma. Please remember this important thing. You have to first reduce the variations and bring it to stability. Then move, center the process. For example, if it is 200 to 300, bring it around 200 and reduce 200 to 150 and then to 120 and 100 so that you are capable. Okay, if this is clear on a scale of 1 to 10, please give me a 9 or 10 if it is super, super clear. Thank you. So stability and then capability. So Mura means variation. So you need to reduce Mura. Every process contains inherent variations. Okay. For example, I'll give you a call center example. Suppose if you have a call center with 20 employees, variation will exist in each phone call, even if the calls are scripted. How many of you agree? The variation will exist. For example, inflection, accent, environmental concern, the mood of the caller, everything will lead to variation in that circumstance. So when you provide a script to the employees, it is just reducing the variation to some extent, but it cannot eliminate variation. By the way, variation cannot be eliminated. Variation can only be reduced. Please write in your notebook. Variation can only be reduced. Now, let's try another example. How many of you love pizza? Send me a love emoji in the chat box, or send me a pizza emoji if you have pizza in Zoom. See, we have a lot of love on pizza. Great. Okay, thank you very much. And that is a pizza for you. If you want to make a pizza, you have employees, okay? And they are instructed to use certain amount of ingredients in each pizza. And let's say that you make a cheese pizza. Let's say that you make a cheese pizza and you are told to put 1 cup of cheese in a small pizza and 2 cups of cheese in large pizza. Okay, 1 cup in a small pizza and 2 cups in a large pizza. So if you are the pizza owner, you are noticing a great deal of inconsistency on how much pizza is, how much cheese is there on each pizza. So I'm asking your ideas to reduce variation, because you are finding that your employees, you told them clearly 1 cup small pizza and 2 cups on a large pizza, but you are finding a lot of variations. What will you do to reduce the variation in the cheese usage in the pizza. Measure, okay. You measure and put the cheese, is it? Okay, good. Provide defined cubes, yeah, cups. Okay, weigh that before you put this, okay. Give them training, good. All the answers are right, so train them, good. Standard size cups, all the answers are right. So what I'm trying to do is to reduce variation, you are providing employees, like you put in the chat box, with 2 measuring cups. So 1 cup for small pizzas and 2 cups for large pizzas. 2-cup container, a larger cup, okay? Or 1 cup you put for this thing and 2 cups you put for large pizza. Use the same cup, but 2 cups you put. Will it eliminate variation or will the variation still exist? So the variation will still exist. There will be a small variation. How can you further reduce those variations? Automate is saying that's also good. So the variation is reduced, but still it is present. So some employees pour the cheese into the cup and some scoop it. Some fill just to the rim and others create a mound above the rim. So the owner acts to reduce the variation again. He trains people to use a flat spatula to scrape the excess cheese off the cup. So you have to fill the cup and then spatula, scrape it, the excess of it. We are talking about variation always exists. While the variation will still exist due to the factors such as air pockets or how the cheese settles in the cup, but it is greatly reduced and customer will experience more consistent cheese in the pizzas. Okay. So if this is clear, type clear in the chat box. We'll go to the next topic on removing waste. So first, we spoke about variations. Now we'll talk about eliminating waste. Okay. So far, if you're finding it interesting, useful, valuable, fantastic, awesome, just put it. Let me also get some energy, like you get the energy from the cheese and then. Okay, I want to make Six Sigma simple, okay? Removing waste, all of you type DOWNTMA, downtime in the chat box. All of you type downtime in the chat box. Okay, please take in your notes, okay? There are 8 different types of waste. D as in defects is a waste. Producing more than required overproduction is a waste. Waiting for machines, waiting for manpower, waiting for material, etc. is a waste. N, not utilizing resources is a waste. T, as in transportation, excess transportation is a waste. Inventory, excess inventory is a waste. Motion, unwanted motion is a waste. Processing, extra processing is a waste. Okay, please make a note of it. You can take the screenshot of it, right? Now, in the hot dog example also, if you recall, in the value stream that we were talking about, we asked the question, 4 people doing the same job or 1 person for each of the process and doing 4 different activities. Okay, 1 person doing 1 activities and 1 person doing 4 activities. Which one takes more time? Would it be faster to move to 1 person or this? Suppose if 1 person couldn't do all this, then we have identified the motion as a waste. Okay, excess motion as a waste. So removing waste, items, action, people that are unnecessary to the outcome of a process. Please make a note of it. Items, actions, people. IAP. Please type it in the chat box. I wanted you to record that in your mind. Items, actions, people, which are unnecessary to the outcome of a process. IAP. Superb. So waste is a major concern in Six Sigma methodology. The concept of waste from a methodology is known as reducing the waste, okay? Though it comes primarily from lean process management, okay? Now, we spoke about variation, we spoke about reducing waste. Now we are talking about equipping people. Okay, people are very, very important assets. Now, implementing improved process is temporary measure unless you equip people. How many of you have seen that? How many of you can relate to what I'm saying? You started with all this lean training, 5S training, that training, this training, and finally dies over a period of time. Type ICR, I can relate in the chat box. It dies with a period of time, right? Good. This is what happens if you don't equip people to really sustain things. Okay, so that's the importance of equipping people to monitor and maintain the improvement activities. So two-pronged approach. Okay, one is PDCA. All of you type PDCA in the chat box. We are going to talk about the two-pronged approach. First is doing the improvements. You plan, you do it, and then you create a standard. You do improvement and create a standard. So the first is process improvement team consists of, you take up Lean Six Sigma projects and, they define, measure, analyze, and then finally plan the improvement methodology using DMAC processes. So they basically plan, do, check, act. Okay. But what's more important is all of you type SDCA in the chat box. And this is very, very important. What is SDCA? Once you do the improvements has to sustain. In order for that to sustain, you should standardize, only then it will sustain. What cannot be standardized cannot be sustained. How many of you agree with me? Type super agree in the chat box. What cannot be standardized cannot be sustained. If you don't follow, even if you want to, you reduce your weight, okay? And if you want to sustain your weight, you have to follow a standard. Standard can be in the term of health routine or exercise routine or whatever it is. Super agree. Okay, right. Okay, and if you see here, the team then equips employees, work directly. Now, this is where people have to be trained on those standards. People have to be trained on the standards. Only then you can bring in sustenance. Okay, so how many of you are ready for a question and answer? Type ready in the chat box. Let's go for a question and answer. This is a very simple question. Okay. All right. So please observe carefully. If you're not registered for an upcoming webinar, take this link and then join. The question is here. What is the two-pronged approach commonly used for process improvement? Implementing improvements without employee involvement. A. Assigning process improvement to external consultants. B. C is involving employees in both planning and monitoring of these process improvements. And fourth is relying solely on project management and methodology expert for process improvement. So the correct answer is, isn't it awesome? Great. So C is the correct answer. Let's see the correct answer. Involving employees in both planning and monitoring of process improvements. For those who typed C, can we send them lots of chocolates, please? Chocolates, cookies. You can send them all right? Candies. Okay.